Hey everyone, Steve here, and in this beat up box, I've got the 4-in-1 joystick for N-Switch, P3, PC, and Android games. Now this is a relatively cheap arcade stick that I got off eBay, but they sell it a bunch on AliExpress as well, I think. You can tell from the box that this comes from one of those distributors, probably based in China, that kind of just send it to you as cheaply as possible with no regard to the state or condition it's in. But as long as it works, I'm not really mad at it because, again, like I said, it's relatively cheap. And as we will see, I don't expect this to be a very high quality item either. Let's just take a quick look around the box here. This is the back and it says it's the 4-in-1 joystick for these systems. So that's the Nintendo Switch, the PlayStation 3, but they can't use either of those official names because it's probably not licensed, PC and Android games. Easy to learn, a challenge to master, and endless hours of fun. Plug and play, USB plug, single joystick control for fighting games, Mario and Street Fighter 2, which is a fighting game, and support more players play together. Okay. Who makes this? Is that the logo of whoever makes it? I guess we'll never know. There we are, made in China. And here is the front where we can see through this kind of messed up plastic, the arcade stick itself, and an actual picture of a Switch. And that appears to be playing Last Blade or something on the Neo Geo, but I could be wrong, or Sam Show or something. Anyways, let's open this up, tear all the tape off anyways. Here is the manual, let's take a quick look at that. NS002 is the model number, apparently. Okay, interesting that it's got A, B, X, and Y, and L and R, but it doesn't have more buttons than that, so we don't have ZR and ZL, which is funny. The joystick is just called 3D. This is the scope of application, product parameter, actually has dimensions there and a weight, which is kind of nice. Basic operation, turbo function, we kind of get it. And the product warranty card, I probably won't fill that out. The USB cable is secured through this little hole, and there's a little plastic thingy here like you find on a pizza, keeping it inside the cardboard. Probably just unscrew that. And here we have it. I guess the brand is YLW or something. Forgive all the dust, but as you can see, it wasn't really sealed. And here we are, not very big, probably the size of my hand. 4 suction cups on the bottom, micro switch joystick, which is nice. These buttons feel like they've got a membrane at the bottom. Your 4 other buttons here. Now, there is a reason that I bought this terrible joystick, which I usually wouldn't buy products that I know aren't good. But here is the reason. This is the Street Fighter 2 plug and play console by MSI. Now I made an earlier video on this thing, and that's what's really interesting to me is that they've basically taken the same exact mold for all the parts, save for this little top panel here where they've added 2 more buttons. Actually no, all they did was just, drill 2 more holes. That's so funny. Drill 2 more holes and remove the space needed for this little power switch on the right here. And yeah, they've turned this arcade stick form factor from a plug and play console into a real, I guess, controller, quote unquote. And that was the only reason that I wanted to pick this up, because I thought it was so interesting. Whatever factory in China made this kind of sells the molds. This Street Fighter plug and play was officially licensed by Capcom and produced by MSI Entertainment. So, it's not like this is some sort of, it is probably a cheap cash grab, this plug and play, but the fact that they commissioned a factory in China to make this, and then the factory's gone and done, probably had parts even left over and just made a generic USB controller out of it. Even the graphic for the joystick is the same, just got these 4 arrows. I really don't know why they have a racing car here. All of that is to say that I just wanted a shot of these 2 next to each other. This would make a cool arcade stick. Maybe I can just swap the top panel graphic. Alright, so I'm just gonna plug this into both a Switch and a PS4 using the help of a Brook adapter, and we'll see how it plays. Okay, so I've got it plugged into my Switch via USB hub over here, and let's just see what happens when I press a button. Whoops. The LED on the controller is on. It says paired now. Okay, there we are. Castlevania Bloodlines. Why isn't it working? Am I able to is this working as an analog stick? Possibly. Oh, it's paused, that's why. Okay, well, okay. The stick seems to be working all right, I suppose. Castlevania isn't probably the best game to try it on, but I'll be trying it on fighting games soon enough. It's more or less as responsive as it could be. It does feel a little cheap though. I think this entire stick is probably completely plastic, but who knows? I'm not actually going to be able to exit out because there's no ZL and ZR, so I'm gonna have to probably just close the whole thing. Now I want to try it out on a fighting game, but I don't want to wait for Dragon Ball FighterZ to load up because it takes forever on the Switch, so let's just try the Street Fighter Anniversary Collection. aka the game that I play on PC all the time anyways. While that's loading up, the joystick here is really long actually. I'm not sure how it compares to other arcade sticks, but it's got quite a long throw. The buttons are kind of like a fake arcade style because they look like, you know, they've got a little base here and then a plunger, but it's definitely just a membrane kind of pad down the bottom, like the old SNES Super Advantage and stuff like that. Okay, so I've just remapped the controls, but start is meant to be ZR, which I don't have, so I'm gonna have to go with minus. All right, now I'm expecting something here to be an issue. I'll try to see if it's an issue first before I complain about it. Especially with the previous Street Fighter plug and play, I had an issue with this joystick. If you've watched that video, you can probably try and guess what it is, but if not, stay tuned. Interesting. Okay, that's not gonna be an issue. My issue was that it was really hard to get quarter circles to come out with the Street Fighter 2 plug and play because there was a restrictor gate on it that basically meant you could only hit one of the 4 main directions at any moment. You couldn't activate 2 switches at the same time, but everything feels good here. I mean, again, the parts feel terrible and it feels like a cheap toy, but other than that, I'm able to do everything I want to. Oh my god. This controller is also extremely light. Like, can't remember off the top of my head, but wasn't it around like 400 grams or something, which is basically nothing. Okay, here we go. Moment of truth. Nice. Okay, that is this thing tested out on the Switch. It works, I guess, perfectly fine. I have pressed all of these buttons at this point, except for turbo. Let's try and do that. Okay, great. Turbo punch. Look. Hey, clear the turbo. Okay. Well, that was easy. Time to test it out on the PS4. And to help me use this on the PS4, I'm going to use my trusty Brook PS3 to PS4 adapter. Okay, so it's the moment of truth. Let's try and plug it in. There we are. Seems to work fine. I'm going to assume that's X. Nope. B is X. The suction cup feet on the bottom of the arcade stick seem like a nice idea, but not when you're playing on an uneven surface. It kind of sticks to my desk. I can't use it because it is a D-pad. How can I switch the function to an analog stick? That's not good. Do I need another PS4 controller? I can use one. So I can't actually move around the menus in Tekken because I need an analog stick or I need a D-pad. That kind of sucks. Okay, so if I use an analog stick now, it does work. The buttons are a little messed up, but that's fine, not the biggest issue. But yeah, the fact that this is a analog stick and not a D-pad is a bit of an issue. Let's see if there's anything in the manual that lets me change that. I honestly doubt it. Okay, D input and X input. Let's try this. Okay. Wait, if I confirm and exit. Oh my god, so weird. Hey, I can use this now. What is that? Is that because I did this weird thing where I changed the button inputs? Let me try that again. So I'm gonna press minus and plus at the same time. You can see here that the joystick is working. Now if I hold it for 5 seconds and it doesn't work. Oh my gosh. So as long as I change this mode, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which also happens to be taking a screenshot. Phew, that's good. Okay, awesome. So I can use this fully now. I'm not sure if this is gonna be useful to anyone if anyone wants to play like this, but there we are. PS4 controller is off and we don't need it anymore. Luckily we had this manual to help us. All right, let's play some Tekken. I'm just gonna go straight to ranked because I'm not a wimp and I believe in this controller. While in warm-up mode, let's see if I can hit my combos. I can just hold this up like this. It's like in the air. It's so light and I don't think it's gonna break. Uh-oh. Nice, got it. Man, these buttons feel so bad to press, like not responsive at all. Uh-oh. I'm probably gonna get my ass beat. And I'm gonna blame the controller. I don't know what you want me to do about that, but I am. Nice! Is that gonna kill? Great, I won my round. Now I can quit. Okay. At least I got my 1 round in. I'm probably gonna leave it at that. No point trying to win with this thing. Yeah, I'm not able to really get my down forwards or down backs with great accuracy. I'm sure I just have to practice where I have to hit. But anyways, that's probably enough of the playtesting on this cheap thing. Let's have a look inside. Okay, so given how cheap this thing is, I'm not really gonna try and bother protecting this super cheap plastic ball top. So I'm just gonna try and disassemble it while holding it. I might just remove these suction cup feet if I can. I guess I can't, they seem pretty stuck on there. Okay, so all 4 screws that I think are holding this thing are out. And one of the 4 screws was hidden under this QC pass sticker that said the 7th month of 2021. So let's see if this just lifts open. Whoa, that is interesting. So nothing here in the bottom half of the case. All it does is just hold it itself into the top half with all the components and PCBs, etc. Probably just got a very generic USB encoder here. There's actually I think this was the way it was on the other one, a PCB for the actual joystick that connects all the switches. We have a circular restrictor gate on the joystick, all plastic parts, plastic actuator, everything like that. And then this is our button PCB. So let's just break this all down and see what we have. Not precious about keeping it together, probably never going to use it again. So I've removed the circular restrictor gate, which is actually what I had to remove in the Street Fighter plug-in place, just so I could get quarter circle motions out. I'm not sure if I have that one with me, but my recollection, it seems like this one is a bigger restrictor gate, which allows me to hit more of the switch at the same time. So that's probably what kind of rectifies that problem. Under the restrictor gate, we see one screw that's probably holding the ball top in place, and then 4 more screws that are holding the actual joystick assembly, which, okay. The way to access those is just by lifting the switches out. Now, I'm not sure, are these leaf switches? Is that what you would call these? Nice little assembly. But yeah, not the best feeling and not super accurate, I imagine. This PCB is actually soldered here, so I won't be able to remove that. There is a spring here, and I'm not sure if I remove this screw, if that whole thing is just going to come flying off, or maybe it's just so that the thing recenters itself. Can I remove this bolt top just by holding it? It doesn't look like I can remove this bolt top, so I might have to let's just go for it. Let's remove this screw. Okay, it's gonna fly off, I can tell. There we are. And how do I remove this stick? Removing the spring. Is this the actuator? No, that was what came off here. This is the actuator. So the spring sandwiches in between these two parts of the actuator, I suppose. And now this joystick is just loose and flopping about. So let's remove these 4 screws. Okay, so all screws are out of the mounting plate, so that's just gonna come off. And okay, we have the joystick here, and it's got a little thing here to stop it from falling out, like a little bulb or whatever. And I can't really remove it, so I don't know how I'm going to get this out. I'm not sure if there's like a screw holding the bolt top on. While I try and figure out how to get this joystick out of the case, I'm just going to unplug this USB cable. Let's get a nice close-up of the board here. Hopefully that's useful to anyone that cares. Let's unplug the USB cable. So now we just have a loose top assembly. Okay, so I've even just tried using an adjustable wrench here to see if I can get a grip on it, but for some reason it's not, and I don't think it's gonna twist off. It's gonna keep trying, just ends up scratching the plastic. It's very slippery. Maybe I can get it from here. Nope. Okay, so I've basically given up on trying to get this joystick out of here in one piece. I'm probably eventually going to cut it, not right now while I'm filming this video, but I do want to see if I can do anything with this to mod it, or at least, you know, given that it's basically just an arcade form factor that I probably can figure out something to do with. So I'm going to try and unscrew everything else and get as much as I can out of here. So let's take out this button PCB. I'm gonna have to watch all this footage to remember which screws go where. And I just dropped one. Same size as these ones from the joystick thing, so that's good. Okay, so as we can see here, it's basically a normal controller membrane button PCB. Interesting part, very big PCB for what is essentially 7 traces. And then finally, this main controller PCB. This is also the same screw. So I guess we've got quite a few screws that are the same size, which is awesome. Don't have to worry about those. All the buttons just fell out. One more screw. And there we are. The 4 top buttons also have membrane contacts. Is VIB, vibration, because there isn't a vibration function, there's a turbo function, but whatever. Got your leaf switch assembly, your main action button PCB, and then your auxiliary, or I guess this is the main PCB. Nice silkscreen printing there. LED. These 2 joins are the LED. This is probably the resistor for the LED. Quite an unpopulated board. There's a lot of space for components, but none actually there, which is interesting. Cool. Don't really know what I'm going to do with this. Maybe just desoldering practice, to be honest. And these are what the buttons look like. Plastic plungers with a little membrane. I basically just disassembled this into a bunch of parts. Got a USB cable now. Let's remove all these tools. And then we've got miniaturized versions of those big buttons here for the top panel. Yeah, annoying that this joystick wasn't very easy to get out. I reckon they assembled it, then they glued the bolt up in there because it's just so cheap and lightweight that they probably didn't want to put a screw in there. In terms of these holes, I was about to try putting in some 24 or even 30mm buttons in there, but they're definitely not that big. So let's see how big this inner diameter was, or is. It's just 20 mils, even 19. You can see there. It's around 19 mil, the opening. So I don't really know what's going to fit inside there, but we shall see. Maybe I can cut, no, I don't know. Maybe I'll be able to mod these buttons into something, but who knows. But yeah, as always in these recent videos, I am just left with a bunch of parts, and I like to think endless possibilities. So be sure to stay tuned for what I make with this in however many months time. Anyways guys, that'll do it for now. That was a look at this 4-in-1 joystick for Nintendo Switch, PS3, although I tested it out on the PS4, PC and Android games. Now if you want to find this, I'm sure there are lots of listings of similar looking things which are probably the same thing on both AliExpress and eBay, so just have a look at like Arcade Stick or something. But again, I wouldn't really recommend it unless you want to play around with the technology inside or something like that. So that's it for now. Thanks again for watching. If you have any questions, please leave a comment down below and I'll answer what I can. If you enjoyed the video, it would be awesome if you could like it. And if you're not already, it would be great if you could subscribe to my channel and check out my other videos, as there's a lot to see. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.